Welcome to Pregnant in the Netherlands, the podcast for expats by expats to help you know what to expect during your pregnancy, birth, breastfeeding, and postpartum journey in the Netherlands. Today, we are talking with Karoll Ramamonjisoa, founder of Parentally. But first, a reminder that if you are in the Eindhoven region, you should check out our Find Your Village Birth and Postpartum Fair happening on June 28th at Hotel Campanile in Eindhoven. We've got a great day planned with 5 workshops, all centered around preparation for birth, breastfeeding, and the postpartum period, a market of local handmade products and services for moms and babies, and opportunities to connect with other expecting families. It's a day really devoted to building your village of support. Now, speaking of support, in today's episode, Julianna and I talk with Karoll, who is a French-Malagasy entrepreneur and mother of 2 boys living in Amsterdam. She's lived in Madagascar, France, Germany, the US, and now the Netherlands. She built Parentally after her own experiences of giving birth and raising kids in foreign countries. Parentally is dedicated to providing resources to parents, connecting them with trusted professionals, essential information, and supportive communities. Karoll's mission is to ensure that every parent has access to the help that they need from pregnancy through all stages of parenthood. Let's jump in. Welcome, Karoll.
Hi, good morning. Thank
Good
you for having
morning.
me.
Thanks so much for being here. Maybe we start with telling our listeners a little bit about what Parentally is.
Yes, absolutely. So, well, first, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about Parentally and also parental support and parental well-being. Parentally is a well-being platform dedicated to supporting the well-being of new and future parents at every stage of their parenthood journey. It's a platform that helps parents search, compare, and connect with a wide range of professionals who can help them prepare for parenthood and also navigate all the ups and downs of being a parent.
Nice. And maybe you can tell us your story a little bit and like what led you to coming to the Netherlands and developing Parentally.
Yes, absolutely. So I am originally from Madagascar, hence my name, Ramamonjisoa, which is very typical of Madagascar. I was born in Madagascar and then I left Madagascar when I was 5 years old with my family. And I've spent most of my childhood in France. So I'm French-Malagasy. And yeah, then I studied in France, Germany. I also lived in the US for a little while with my husband. And this is where I got my first son 11 years ago. He's turning 11 this month of May. So I cannot believe it. And no, actually, it's actually his birth that's really inspired me, the idea of creating Parentally, because I was in the US away from family and friends and alone with my husband, and we were like 2 kids having a baby, completely underprepared and just super excited. And then like it was a bit like hitting a wall. I was underprepared for birth. I didn't take any childbirth preparation courses, so I felt a bit not ready. And then I also got a last minute C-section. Recovery was really challenging, not only because I was alone, because the recovery of the C-section scar was a bit complicated. And I just felt really isolated. And so we moved to the Netherlands like just when my son was 6 months. To be honest, to be closer to family in Europe, but also because my husband got transferred. So it was the perfect opportunity to come back. And then 3 years later, I got my second son, and I just was terrified to give birth again, like 4 weeks before birth. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this again.
Oh,
I know. So I was just like asking the midwives, what can I do to, better prepare and overcome this fear. And long story short, I found hypnobirthing. I also did acupuncture. I found a lot of different things I'd never heard of before. And this is what we discussed with my a business partner back then. She had 3 children and she'd never heard of any of this either. And we're like, okay, this is maybe an idea that we can create a platform where we not only raise awareness around all the different types of supports that exist for parents, but also where we can facilitate access to this support and at the same time offer the professionals who are doing the work a platform where they can really promote their service and be seen by more parents. So that's the idea.
It's so beautiful how you transferred your traumatic experience. You were really motivated and you became really conscious and looking for solutions for yourself. Yeah. And now you can offer it to other women.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so I've been running Parentally for a few years now, and I've talked to almost every professional who is on Parentally, and most of the stories are quite the same. We become mothers, and then we face these challenges, these struggles, and we feel like we have to do something about it. And it's kind of when it's made such a difference for me when I had my second son, all the support that I got, that I felt like it's not normal, that not everyone can know about this and access this. So it's really, I think the goal is to normalize getting support and seeking support and saying, okay, yes, I think I need support and it's okay. Yes, I wanted this baby, but it's okay to say, yes, it's still difficult. It's beautiful, but it's difficult. So I need help. And that's the idea a bit of Parentally.
Yeah. I love that you make it so accessible for people to find support, because it takes a lot to admit that, I do need support, but then you start Googling and like there's either lots of options or not a lot of options, and that can be discouraging too. So you make it really easy for people to find the support that they're looking for.
Yeah, that's what we try.
Yeah.
It's also the idea of explaining also what's out there, like the Parentally, the platform is where you find the concrete options, the concrete professionals, and it's a large platform because I do believe that every parent is unique and every parent has unique needs, and I don't believe in cookie cutter solutions where you feel like, okay, this is going to be the solution for everyone. So when a parent comes to Parentally, they can look at a lot of different profiles and a lot of different options from, the whole diversity of professionals that are out there who have their own services with, their own prices, but also their own approach and their own, vibe and whatever, like it's all very different. There is a lot that exists out there. And when you are a first-time parent, I do feel like it can feel a bit overwhelming. And also, when you don't know, you don't know. And what are you searching for, really? Maybe you don't even have any idea what exists and what exactly. So we also use our channels to try to inform about, what's out there. What is a doula? What is a postpartum doula? What is, how to prepare for postpartum? What is a postpartum plan? What is a birth plan? All these kind of things that you can prepare before becoming a parent.
Well, that's fantastic. And how do parents, how can they use it? Do they need to pay for anything, or do they just search?
Parents pay the practitioners.
Okay.
No, we are just here really to facilitate the search and the connection. So any parent, any expecting parents can go to parentally.nl and then they can filter based on the type of services they are looking for. Let's say you are looking for a pregnancy and birth doula, so you can go to the section pregnancy and birth doula, and from there you can also filter by location, by language. You can also see the different prices, and then you can just look at all the different profiles. Each practitioner has a listing page where they have their photos, their whole catalog of services with the descriptions, the prices, also some reviews. And it's up to you as a parent to navigate these different profiles, moving from one page to another. And then from there, you can just contact the practitioner that you like. You can either just send them a message or book a free introductory call. And this is all free. Then you pay when you work with the practitioner eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the idea. And then if you have a clear idea of what you are looking for, you can also contact us and tell us, okay, let's say I'm due in July and I'm looking for a Spanish-speaking doula in Almere. And then we look into our platform and we can tell you, oh, this doula in Almere who speaks Spanish is available for July. So, and we can come up with a short list of practitioners that could be a good fit for you. So it's either like you can search on your own, or you can contact us, and we do our best to do the matchmaking. Eventually, this will be done automatically by the platform, but we are not there yet. But hopefully soon.
Like you grew quite quick. I remember that a few years ago we had contact. Yes. We hardly had, and you were just about to set up the portal, and then now all of a sudden you have plenty of providers. How do you keep up with it?
It's hard. No, it's hard. It's hard.
And how many? Do you have an overview of your traffic? How many people are searching and finding their services?
So at the moment we have about 70 practitioners on the platform, and every month we have 1,500 visitors who come to Parentally to look for support. It's mostly through our social medias that they click on the links and on the profiles, but also through advertising that we do on Google for people who are looking for childbirth courses or doulas or lactation consultants. And these very people who are going through the Google rabbit hole, that they can click on Parentally and hopefully find support a bit more easily and smoothly.
Nice. And that's all throughout the Netherlands?
It's through, we are very strong in Amsterdam, and we are starting to grow throughout the Netherlands, yes.
Yeah, Anna, you are just a new member, right?
Yes,
in the region, in Eindhoven region.
I am, yeah.
The newest.
Yeah. So what have you found to be maybe the most common questions or searches that families have?
Yes, that's a good question. I would say it depends on the types of family, like, because Parentally is for all types of families, and by that I mean international families, but also Dutch families, and some people say that the experience is different when you are an international family or a Dutch family, because if you are a Dutch family, you have your support system here. Maybe you have family, maybe you have friends, but eventually, what we hear the most is that it's just a human experience, like the parenting experience, and it's not because you are a Dutch family that you necessarily have a support system that will really get involved and support you, because maybe you have your parents, but maybe they will not, really help you. And every parent needs support. And so maybe if we talk about international families, the first questions we have is mostly about the healthcare system is here, which is something, that is normal because the system is so unique. But beyond that, we mostly get the same question, like how can I get support? What type of support can I get? What's out there, and how can I find it? And say, like, this orientation phase where you don't really know what you're looking for, you don't know really know where to look, and what to get and how. that's mostly what we get.
So you've given birth in the U.S. and also in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
How would you compare those two births?
Yeah. They were completely different and also kind of similar at the same time. So I gave birth in the US, and also my mindset was completely different, because so it's funny story because it was just me and my husband, and we arrived at the hospital at noon. I was all smile. I was so excited. I was like, okay, labor just started. It's time to go. And we arrived at the counter, and I said, oh no, it's not time. You can go back home. Like, okay. So we went back home, and then the labor and the surges became a bit more intense. So we decided, okay, now this is time to go to the hospital. And I knew this was my wish, that I wanted an epidural. I cannot stand pain. I cannot stand needles either. But with choosing between the two, I prefer to have an epidural and the big needle in my back.
Mm-hmm.
So I had an epidural, but then the labor was very long. It was like 37 hours.
Oh.
I couldn't move. I had the epidural for so long, like really so long. And I don't know, I remember I slept and my husband was watching TV, he was watching the playoffs, like he was really relaxed. And we were just waiting. And I tried to push, it didn't work. Then the doctor, like the team was amazing. Like there's nothing I can say about the team that is negative. The team was amazing. The doctor came and said, okay, maybe we should consider doing a C-section. And I said, can we wait? And he said, yeah, we can wait. So we waited a bit more. I don't remember the how long we waited, but then he came again and said the heart rate is starting to drop. So I think it's time to go. And it was really nice because I remember he sat by my side and said, okay, like he was really talking to me. It was really reassuring. And I felt, okay, now I understand. And I think, no, okay, this is time. And I was exhausted. Because I had the epidural and, it was 11 years ago. I don't know if it's still like this, but I was not allowed to eat or to drink. So I was, like the ice chips, that they give you in this cup. It was just, surviving on that. I was exhausted, so we went to the block, and then we had the C-section. It was great, and it was the middle of the night, and then we came back to the room, and I started to try to breastfeed because this I really wanted to breastfeed, and it didn't work. So it was a lot of disappointment, but yeah, in the end. It was nice, and we stayed in the hospital for a few days, and then we came back home. The Netherlands was totally different because I felt a lot more confident. I think because of the hypnobirthing and because it was the second time around. The only thing is I really didn't want to get another C-section, and no epidural. No, never. Like I really didn't want it. I had it for way too long, and to recover even from the epidural, it was really long. So that was my wish, and this is what I put in the birth plan. And I felt more in control because I knew what I wanted. I had to give birth in the hospital because of the C-section. But I knew that I didn't want to have, the things strapped around my belly. I knew that I didn't want to have the big lights or people coming in and out. So they really left me do my thing. And it was great. Labor was amazing. I don't know. We arrived, I was 6 centimeters dilated and just super happy.
Nice.
And then doing my relaxation, with my a rainbow relaxation track. And it was doing great. And then at some point, this I remember very vividly, like 2 hours later, the team came back and they said, yeah, you're still at 6 centimeters, so maybe we should pierce I don't know how to say, like do the piercing of the waters.
Break the waters.
Yes, exactly. And I said no, and so we waited a bit more, and then they came back, and I said, okay, let's do it, and they did it, and within 30 minutes the baby was there.
Oh wow.
It was so intense.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy. But also, like, I was so happy that I could do it. I was so happy. I don't know. For me, having a vaginal birth after the C-section, I was like, okay, I will try, but I don't think it will be possible. So it was like really, I felt really powerful.
I can imagine.
And then it was the early morning, and then we stayed, it was in January, and we stayed a little bit longer because my son was a bit too cold. But then we left the same day, like at 1 p.m. And it was really nice. And I came back home. My aunt was there, and she stayed for a few weeks. She cooked for me. So it was really nice.
Nice.
Both really nice experience. I just feel like maybe the difference for me, for my own experience, was more about me having more control and more knowledge of what I wanted. Because in both cases, we were very lucky that the medical team was really supportive and listening to us and respecting our choices. And they were very gentle in the way that they made, their suggestions or recommendations of what we should do. So it was nice.
Comes down to knowledge. You just said it's so important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know your choices, then you don't have
Exactly. And even then, the second time around, when they came back to say, okay, maybe we should I should really look up this word. I don't know, like we should pierce the water. I didn't know. And but also, like, I was like, okay, no. You kind of feel like, okay, when they come back to you for the second time, you feel like, okay, now maybe I'm going to be difficult if I say no again. And I didn't have all the information to make my decision. And I have 100% trust in the team. So I was like, okay. And maybe I could have waited a bit longer now, knowing what I know. But it's all good in the end.
Yeah.
It's all for the best.
Yeah. It sounds like you really, you did well in advocating for yourself, both with your first birth and with the second, saying, no, I'm not ready for a C-section just yet. I'm not ready to break the waters just yet. Which is, I mean, that takes a lot.
It takes a lot, but I think, like, the team was so nice. And like the first time when I said, okay, maybe we can, like really ask questions, and it's a discussion, like, like I never felt like anyone was forcing anything on me. And I felt really happy that, I could express my doubts, like saying, okay, why can we wait? Can you do this? And now that I do Parentally, I've learned a lot about more of the things, and including the brains technique, which I found is amazing. Like, when you don't really know, that you can use to really assess the, your options, the risks, and everything. And the advantages.
Do you want to explain what that is for people who haven't heard of it?
Yes, I think the brains technique, so it's an acronym, and it stands for the benefits, the risks, and then the A. What is the A for? Alternatives, yes. And the I is for, I don't remember.
Intuition.
Yeah, intuition.
Yes, intuition. And the N is for what if we do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's something you can use when talking with your team to assess, if your options, and if you want to know what are the benefits, the risk associated with someone that is being proposed to you, and to help you make informed decisions, so that also what are the alternatives, and also think about what your intuition says, so you can have all the answers, so you to make a decision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Super powerful tool. Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe we can kind of close off with any advice that you have for expecting expat families in the Netherlands, since you have experience with giving birth in multiple places.
Yeah, I would say so. It's really hard to find
Yeah.
advice. No, I think like when you become a parent, it can really feel isolating. But I would say like know that you are not alone, and even like if sometimes you can feel like this is the case. There is an amazing network of support available for parents, even if sometimes it feels like it's a bit hidden. And I'm not only talking about professionals, but also, there are communities, there are also, the people around you. When you feel like, okay, maybe like this is getting really hard, and you don't dare to reach out to your friends, or especially parent friends, and myself, when I became a parent, I realized, okay, maybe I should have been more present for my parents' friends, because then you know what they've been through. And what you don't realize is most of the time people are really willing to help, but they don't know how to, and they don't really know how to offer help, or how they could be useful. So like, do dare to ask for help. And it's really not a sign of weakness. It's really a strength, because in reality, I really do truly believe that parenthood is not meant to be a solo journey. And when it comes to support, yes, don't wait until it starts to feel overwhelming. Like, I would say that preparation is also actually quite key. So to make things a bit smoother. So if you can build your support team early, I think it can really, really help. And of course, Parentally is here to make things easier, a bit smoother too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wish that I had, when I gave birth, I wish that I had access to Parentally to be able to find things that I needed to find the support. So it's really, I think it's really, really awesome to have this resource for parents. And how can families find Parentally, and how can they find you?
Yes. So the platform is www.parentally.nl. Then they can also follow us on Instagram at parentally.nl, where we share a lot of resources and information about parenthood in the Netherlands. We also have a YouTube channel with, I think, a bit more than 30 interviews that I did with experts on a lot of different topics, about a lot of different aspects of parenthood. And I think this is a great resource if you don't know so much about the healthcare system, but also all the different types of support available out there. And if you are in Amsterdam, we also have Maison Parentally, which is our community space where we organize in-person events for parents, so both educational and social events.
Oh, that's so fantastic. Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you
for having me
so much for what you offer. This is really fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really nice to have this chat with you.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Karoll as much as we did. You can check out Parentally at parentally.nl, and you can also find the link in our show notes. And don't forget about Find Your Village, a birth and postpartum fair happening on June 28th in Eindhoven. A link to book your tickets is also in the show notes. If you enjoy Pregnant in the Netherlands, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, or leave a review. This helps other expecting families in the Netherlands find our podcast and the information that they need when they are pregnant in the Netherlands. Hope to see you at the fair, and take care until next time.